Welcome again to our YouTube channel. One Piece Full Chapter 1100 is officially released. Before we start the chapter, I would like you to click on subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next video upload. And without further ado, let's start the chapter. The title of the chapter is Thank You Bonnie, with the cover page of Sanji cooking vegetables, making Usopp nostalgic about the Usopp pirates. The chapter begins with Kizaru visiting the Egghead's laboratory, followed by X-Drake and some forces of Marines, and meeting Dr. Vegapunk. Saturn sent Kizaru and was given a task to monitor and supervise the Egghead Island because of the negotiation of Dr. Vegapunk and Kuma. Kizaru told Dr. Vegapunk with regards on the spy Den Mushi placed inside the laboratory and the reason why Saturn heard their entire conversation. Kizaru said to Dr. Vegapunk that he should have checked every nook and cranny of the laboratory when moved in. Kizaru brought Saturn's Den Mushi to talk with Vegapunk and Kuma. Saturn said it's relevant if Vegapunks consider Kuma to be host clone of his experiment. As we see Saturn say Kuma's bounty. Kuma is a pirate with 296 million berries bounty on his head. Saturn called Vegapunk an ignorant for not knowing Kuma's history, or else admit that Vegapunk don't care about it. And he added, it would be a violation of the Navy's reputation. In the next panel, Saturn has a condition to Kuma to proceed their negotiation. First, Kuma would have to agree to become one of the 7 warlords of the sea, because Saturn knows about how a new pirate rookie named Ace defeated an unnamed Shichibukai, and the reason why their members shortened. Kuma is the replacement to fill the opening and calm the sea. The second condition, Kuma will undergo the procedure to become the human weapon of the Navy. Kuma replied of Saturn talking about modifying his body. Saturn said Kuma is right, due to Kuma's whereabouts and already have the traits acquired. Saturns think he will be an effective warlord. Kizaru follow up that the Navy would love the idea when Kuma's on their side. Saturn added that world government knows and aware about Kuma's history, as well as he joined forces of the Revolutionary Army. We will see Saturn's face here getting serious and told Kuma to agree and give up his free will and sense of individuality. In the next panel, we can see Dr. Vegapunk is very angry and against of Saturn's idea. He shouted in front of Den Mushi that would be tantamount of killing Kuma, and he said, it is because none of the others warlords don't follow orders. He added, if Saturn expect him to murder a human. Unfortunately, Saturn replied to Vegapunk that he forgets about his job, that he is a military scientist and no have the right to talk back. Saturn says that the condition must be met if Kuma wishes to save his daughter, and added it's a small price to pay considering how expensive and difficult this procedure would be. And otherwise, Saturn have no obligation to the kid Bonnie. Vegapunks disagree from the ideas of Saturn. He wouldn't want to modify a human into a cyborg because it is a murder. But for the sake in saving Bonnie's life, Kuma pleased Vegapunks to do it because he is worrying about the disease of Bonnie. Vegapunk's face here is very shocked, with Kuma agreeing with the condition. In the next panel, we see a happy face of Kuma while crying. Kuma said as long as Bonnie is cured, he will be grateful and happily accept his fate. Bonnie and Sentomara appear running and playing. Saturn asked Vegapunk for how long will it take to do the modifications of Kuma and cure for Bonnie's disease. Vegapunk said Bonnie's sapphire scale disease will take 6 months procedure and will take another 1 year before she could expose herself in natural light. So, Bonnie's disease cured for a total of 1.5 years, and Kuma's modification will take 2 years at minimum. Kuma here is very happy when he heard the news from Vegapunk. Bonnie's disease will surely be cured when she reached her 10 years of age. But Saturn here had a doubt and don't trust Kuma. He said after the completion of his daughter's treatment, she will be under the custody of world government and she'll be free after Kuma follow the procedure to modify his human form into cyborg and erased all his memories and personalities. Vegapunks intersect again and very angry with Saturn when he said Kuma would never see Bonnie again once she cured. We have seen here Saturn's cruelty is too much. He ensures that any contact between Kuma and her daughter will be forbidden once she cured to ensure that they don't escape. And if there is a defiance or any movement that would oppose their conditions, Saturn's guarantee that Bonnie will spend her entire life as a slave. Kuma's face here is shocked, knowing how complicated and bitter Kuma's experienced of being slave under the cruelty of the celestial dragons. He wouldn't want to happen that experience to Bonnie. He tells Saturn he will obey all the condition and only have one request. Bonnie should not know the truth about her illness, and she's kept as a hostage of world government. Kuma's face here is very serious. He wouldn't want Bonnie to wake up after her surgery in some soulless government facility. He added to take her back to Sorbet Kingdom and keep her inside the church where she grew up. And if Saturn grant his wishes, he promised that he won't ever seek Bonnie and obey without question. Saturn's agreed to Kuma as long as the world government oversees it and makes no difference where she's kept. step. He added, looks that they have interesting 2 years ahead. Jump to next scene. Bonnie is very happy from hearing the news that her father Kuma will stay at Egghead Island for the next 6 months during her procedure. Kuma convinced Bonnie and believed that there were some tests also to conduct with his body. Kuma saw Sentomara in front of them. Egghead Laboratory has so many windowless rooms. Sentomara added to take care because there's some dangerous gadgets around the area. Next, we have seen Vegapunk is very busy and confused to create his dream. Vegapunk's alone doing multiple tasks. He just thought of needing someone to write everything he thinks, and even someone could eat and use the toilet for him. So, he would never stop his doing and complete the project on time. He is short-handed and wished if there were another 5 just like him. In the next panel, Bonnie's surgery and Kuma's modification started. After a while, Sentomara and Bonnie were playing and Kuma seems to be very happy. A ship arrived with Dr. Vegapunk's needs for his projects. We also see a happy faces of Bonnie, Kuma, Sentomara, Vegapunk, as well as Kizaru eating the big pizza and getting close to each other. They also sing and dance the drum of liberation. Then, a half year later, Bonnie's procedure completed and the results is good. Dr. Vegapunk said that after a year of rehabilitation, he surely that Bonnie will be completely cured. Kuma thanked Vegapunk as well as Bonnie and said if she can visit Egghead again when she finally gets better. Vegapunk says of course. Meanwhile, the scene cut to Sorbet Kingdom wherein Bonnie and Kuma arrive. Bonnie brought the good news to the elders and friends that she gets better in a year. Old Connie arrived too and she said this would be mean that she will take care of Bonnie again. She added they would be very happy to take care of Bonnie and Kuma can count on them. In this panel, Kuma thanked Old Connie and others for taking care of Bonnie. Kuma told to Bonnie that he will be back in a year and he will be sending tons of letter to Bonnie. Then, next time they see each other, they will both be able to sail the seas and reach the horizon. Bonnie said she wants to travel to all sorts of places together with her father. Kuma replied he loved to take Bonnie, but for this scene Bonnie don't know the real deal once the operation is already completed. A Cypher Paul 08 intelligence agent named Alpha intersect their conversation and told Kuma to leave the rest to them. Alpha introduced herself that she's a nurse and Dr. Vegapunk ordered her to take care of Bonnie during her recovery. She will check Bonnie's temperature and make sure to take her medicines and monitor for any changes. Alpha reminded Kuma, and if he disobeyed and violate the condition, his daughter's life would be in danger. Kuma understand Alpha's reminders. Kuma saying goodbye to Bonnie and said he gladly that Bonnie is born. We see Bonnie really happy with what Kuma said. Kuma leave the church and also said goodbye to others. In the next panel, a news shocked the world. An infamous tyrant Bartholomew Kuma suddenly became an absolutely obedient member of the 7 warlords of the sea. Sugar brought the news to Doflamingo. Doflamingo said Kuma the tyrant and another villain has come into play. Miss All Sunday knows the news and brought to Crocodile, but he is not interested. He only asked if she taken care of those idiots who spotted their rainmaking ship, and we only see the face reaction of Dracula Mihawk. On Alvida's ship, her looks are as big as Whitebeard. She only asked to Kobe to compare her and Kuma for which is stronger. Scared Kobe said obviously Alvida. On the other hand, in Whitebeard's ship, Ace said to Jinbei they finally found a replacement. Jinbei considering the circumstances that Ace should be the last person he expected to say that. We also see Teach still reading the details about Kuma. Jinbei added, he's a former king and on top of the reigning king already have in their lineup, the pirates world really is changing. Boa Hancock not interested with the new member and not affecting their business. She doesn't follow man's orders. Old Gloriosa said to Snake Princess, it should be essential that she keep track of information. Gecko Moria was also confused about Kuma's devil fruit ability. We also see Dragon's face, and nothing to say a single word. Sabo and Koala were very shocked on the news. They believed that Kuma would never work as a warlord under the world government. After the reactions, Kuma's journey on the sea and worked as Shichibukai begins. He wrote down tons of letter to Bonnie and sent it using the messenger bird. In the last panel of the chapter, we have seen Luffy running and chasing by the tiger. Also, Kuma arriving at Fuchsia Village or the Windmill Village wherein Luffy's hometown. A world government called Kuma and asked where is his location to give a new command. Chapter ends with Kuma asking what's the order. Aside from that there will be no break next week. Thank you for watching.